What's up, fam? Please like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments. Are you trying to build your own brand or business? Well, watch this video till the end because you are not going to want to miss any of the details. The very first thing with building your own brand is you want to define your brand's mission or your business's mission. Really understand what it is that you truly stand for and what your purpose is. This is because your content and your whole business and way of approaching things is going to revolve all around your purpose and how you serve your audience or your customers. Being very clear with that is going to help you understand what it is you need to provide your audience in terms of ideas, services, products, content, etc. So let's talk about the obvious things when it comes to branding or building your brand. You want to have consistent visuals across all platforms. Color palette, logo, pictures, whatever it is that you use with your brand, you want all of those things to be the same across every single social platform that you're on. So that way you have this nice continuity and your audience, your viewers can quickly identify a piece of content that you're pushing out in a space that is so saturated. You want to stick out and you want people to know, hey, this is a Renee Soiree post. Really being consistent with your logos, text, essentially all of your brand aesthetic is what's really going to help make you identifiable and really make you stick out to your audience. Another thing with building your brand that is so important to do is to remain authentic and transparent. The main reason that people or your audience, your viewers are wanting to connect with you or your brand is because they trust you and because they genuinely connect with you and see some authenticity. I think a lot of the times we think that we have to present ourselves a different way, especially when it comes to social media. We can sometimes deviate from how we are. And in the end, that's only going to hurt you and your business because you want to be as authentic as you can possible, because in the end, who you are will really come out and people can see that through a lens. Your audience, your viewers, community, they can always tell whether or not you're being truly authentic in your content. So it's super important to be as transparent as possible, to not put up some type of front in order to get views or whatever you think people will like. It's so important that you remain true to your brand, that you're basically being the most authentic version of yourself possible, because in the end, that's what your audience wants to follow you and your brand and connect with you. Another thing that is important is your content voice and style, whether it be the way you write or the way that you say things when you do come on camera or the way that your brand comes on camera. There is a brand essence, if you will, that people can see. For example, I usually address my audience as fam because I think that we're one big happy family. That's just the way that I write and that's the way that I talk naturally. That's basically my brand aesthetic when it comes to writing. Having your own style or voice in regards to your brand is really going to help create your brand and your overall look and feel. I think one of the most important things when it comes to building your brand is also knowing what type of value it is that you're providing to your audience, whether that be educational or entertainment, because having some type of value for your audience is what's really going to drive your content forward and keep people wanting to come back and consume your content because they value it in some type of way. People don't just pull up videos or content because it has no value to them. There's always going to be some type of element of value in there. So just really make sure that you have your audience, your customers in mind in terms of building your brand, because in the end, they're the ones that your brand revolves around. Something that I've always thought was really important is building engagement and community around a brand or business. That's because in order to get engagement, to build your brand, to build a community, you have to engage. You have to be social on social media. That can be replying to comments, DMs. You really want to treat your audience like a family. Don't really want to leave anyone on red. In the end, I think a lot of what makes a brand is, yes, their look and feel, but also the relationship that they have with their audience and customers. Building that community is just so important because it shows that you listen to your audience, your customers, that you're there, that you're receptive, that you actually exist. Actually communicating with your audience, your customers, etc., is really going to help you in the long run. And overall, you should do that anyways, just because without them, them, you don't have a brand. You wouldn't really have a business or community. So I think that's just absolutely 100% important. I would say another thing that is essential to building your brand is being able to adapt, especially in the world of social media, just because things are consistently changing. For example, brands that haven't adopted vertical video, YouTube Shorts, Reels, TikTok, those brands are kind of being left in the dust just because they're not adapting. Being able to be flexible and adapt to the latest social media trends is really going to help push your brand, business, company, because you are able to utilize those features in the social media world. Overall shows that you are providing people with what they want to see in terms of trends or the latest features available on all these platforms. So being able to adapt is just a very important thing with building a brand, but overall, I think in life too. So being able to adapt is a good thing. Another thing that I think is significant as well is storytelling. Brands that have great storytelling do really well. That's because you're making people feel something. A good example of this would be Airbnb. Airbnb's storytelling goes something like this. They want you to experience the city like a local, experience the food like a local, experience the space like a local. They even go as far as providing these beautiful pictures, these hosts' bios, reviews, and really creating this story of being able to go anywhere and that it's endless. In fact, their slogan is belong anywhere. And so they're really driving forward the fact that all of the places that you can stay at can be local curated, lots of nice local recommendations from the host, but also there's just an infinite amount of possibilities of where you can stay, and is really what is the driving force when it comes to Airbnb is overall their storytelling, because they're making you feel something. And that's just this really important element of their whole brand. I think that's why they are like one of the number one companies in the travel space, is because of their branding. Being able to create that story and being able to their audience or make your viewers feel something is really what's going to drive some of your points home and really help create your aesthetic, vibe, etc. Another thing that I would say is very important with building your brand is creating high quality content. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to get the most expensive equipment out there or that you have to upgrade everything that you have in your studio. It can simply mean having great lighting and clear audio. I think that having great quality content is definitely going to be beneficial for your brand, because in the end, it shows that you care, that you want to provide the best quality content possible that you can for your audience. And it's really something that should be taken into consideration when doing content creation. Yes, in the future, you can always up your equipment and get the best equipment out there, upgrade your camera, your lighting, etc. But in the end, I think just having that clear, crispy video and audio is what's really going to show your audience that you care and that you want to provide the best content possible. Lastly, I would say that another important element of building your brand would be looking at your analytics, looking at your data and seeing what works, looking at your reach, your engagement, and just really trying to determine what has worked well for you and your brand, and try to assess what you should continue doing moving forward and what you should omit from doing. And that's because doing those things is only going to help you grow, because you're trying to figure out what works for your brand, for your audience. Data should definitely be looked at, but I think not focusing too much on vanity metrics is going to help. I would say that engagement is definitely an important metric to assess, and to not just look at vanity metrics in terms of your data. So looking at your analytics is definitely really going to help you understand what your audience and customers want to see, and overall is just really going to push your brand forward in the right direction of knowing what type of content you should continue to create and what type of content you should omit. Anyways, fam, please like and subscribe. Let me know what you thought of this video in the comments. Let me know what other types of content you want to see in the future. I'll see you guys in the next one.